Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Ashley Perciviat. I'm a marketing director here at Sojern, and I'll be your host today, where we'll be talking about how hoteliers can turn data into direct booking success with a focus on United Kingdom and the Irish markets. If you are new to the webinar, if you are new to Sojern, we are a travel marketing company. We work with hotel marketers across the entire spectrum of the hospitality industry, but also with attractions and destinations providers, and we run digital marketing campaigns on their behalf. We have a wealth of data at our fingertips through our Sojern Traveler ecosystem, and with our Sojern Travel Marketing platform, we're able to engage travelers throughout the entire planning and booking process. Last month, we celebrated our 15-year anniversary as a company, and with travel seemingly well on the road to recovery, we feel like there's never been a better time to work in travel, so it's a really exciting time right now. Let's introduce our speaker for today. My dear colleague, Laura Ruggiero, is our business development executive. She heads up business development for the United Kingdom and Ireland. Laura, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ashley. So as Ashley said, my name is Laura Ruggiero, and I'm part of the business development team based in London, and primarily looking after the UK and Irish markets. So speaking with hotels in this region is actually my daily bread and butter, I would say, and I love that. I come from an hospitality background as well, so I've seen and I've experienced what it means to work in a hotel, and I always loved it. So I would say that's my biggest passion, and I'm delighted to be here speaking to you today. Thanks, Ashley.
And we're delighted to have you, Laura. Thanks so much. So before I fully shut up and hand the reins over to Laura, I just wanted to go over today's agenda and then just a couple of housekeeping items. So Laura is going to kick things off with some travel trends that we've been seeing for the United Kingdom and for Ireland. These are trends that we've seen in the last couple months, and then Laura is going to do a look forward to the 2022 holiday season and compare that to what we saw last year. She's then going to talk about how travel marketers can use travel trends and intent data to inform their marketing strategies, and then she'll wrap up with how Sojern can help hotel marketers achieve their direct booking goals and their marketing goals as well. I'll come back on and we'll do a few Q&A. And to that end, if you do have questions, be sure to put them in the questions section of the GoToWebinar control panel. And if we don't get to your questions by the end of today, Laura will be reaching out to you individually to make sure you have all the information you need. So with that, Laura, I will hand it over to you. Take it away.
Thank you so much. So thanks again, everyone, for joining today's session. I think we just, perfect. So today, obviously, the main objective is to run through a few data that we are seeing today for the UK and Irish hotels, and have a deep dive on what we are seeing today compared to what we saw last year, and kind of make a little bit of a deep dive into Christmas insights for this year compared to what we saw last year. But before we go into that, on the next slide, for those who don't know Sojern, and Ashley already quite extensively introduced us, but we are basically a data-driven travel marketing platform driving direct bookings for hotels. And the way we do that, and what really sets us apart from any other agency or marketing provider out there, is the access to real-time travel intent signals, or like search and booking behaviors that we basically acquire from our data partners. So the way it works is that over these 15 years that we've been, let's say, in this field, in this market, we've established strategic partnerships with over 1,000 brands, so travel brands, and this is both at international level as well as domestic level, regional level. I also wanted to give you a few kind of names and kind of an idea of the range of data partners we work with today. So it's a mix of airlines, OTAs, car rental, train lines, and so on. So basically the way it works is that every time a traveler is searching for your location through a transportation search or a hotel search and is looking to book into your location, we capture that information in real time. So we know exactly who to target, when, and on what platform and what channel, and we're gonna look into that in just a second. But obviously, how do we leverage this data, and what kind of actual data do you have access to? And that's what we're gonna look into today. So the first piece of information and data that I wanted to look at is, where are these people coming from? So who's actually looking into staying in our hotels? And so we just pulled these data. These are quite fresh. So these are only searches for hotel bookings and hotel bookings in the last 60 days. So for both the UK and Ireland, we still see the domestic travel being the main, let's say, driver of hotel bookings. And I wasn't really surprised, because I was thinking to myself, why is that, especially for the UK, such a huge number, 63.8%. And I wasn't surprised at all, because probably, as everyone knows, in the last few weeks, we've seen people from across the kingdom coming into London, and just coming back home to pay their respects to the Queen. So obviously, probably that's the main reason why the majority of travelers in the last 60 days were coming from the UK. But we still see, if we go a little bit more in depth into the origins, we still see US as the second main, origin country for the UK, which is always good to see. And then same for Ireland. So the number is slightly smaller. So we see 43.6% of travelers are coming actually from Ireland. And then second and third would be UK and US, which is always good to see. So you can familiarize with people that are actually actively looking to stay in your hotel and where they're coming from. And then moving to what we've seen in the past, and this is mainly because obviously we want to be prepared to what's happening and what's probably was going to be the scenario this year when it comes to Christmas and festivities and holiday bookings. So we've seen quite a different trend in terms of like bookings and when these people are actually planning to stay in the UK and in Ireland for their holidays, for their Christmas holidays. So we see that, for example, for the UK, people are actually looking to book and start their stay even before Christmas. So we see the majority actually starting their stay from the 17th of December. Whereas for Ireland, we see that people, generally speaking, prefers to stay in Ireland and, main cities after the actual, Christmas day. So they stay a little bit after, let's say, in their Christmas holidays period. And then if we can move to the next slide. Another thing that I think was really, really interesting when I was looking into the data, it's data like specifically related to bookings that already happened in October last year. So comparing to, obviously I wanted to understand a little bit more, okay, so what happened in October last year and what do we expect this year in terms of bookings already made into our locations, so both the UK and Ireland in this case. And we see that actually we can't really assume that everyone is booking in November or already in December, but actually people are booking in October already. So for example, last year we've seen that the 13% of bookings for Christmas holidays were already made in October this time last year for the UK, and slightly a little bit more in Ireland, so already 17%. Why is that important? It is important because obviously we want to make sure that we are capturing every kind of opportunity of getting those bookings when these people are ready to book. So really following the travel intent will make sure that we are in front of those people anytime, at every time, in the right place when they're ready to book, and really drive them to book directly with us. So what do we expect for this 2022? It's still early on, still October, of course, but we can definitely look at those data that will help us understanding a little bit more what's going to happen, what we can expect compared to last year. And I was quite delighted to see that trends are still like similar to last year, but the greatest thing is that for both the UK and Ireland, the bookings, hotel bookings are actually up. For the UK, it's impressive, 51% up compared to last year, and this is predicted to go up. So it's really good to see that people are still like on their face of like, I want to travel, I want to visit the UK, and they're doing it already today. So you just want to be sure that you are in front of these travelers when they're ready to book. And then for Ireland, slightly less, 12%. But actually, if you look at the chart, you can see that the spikes into bookings actually happened in November. So what we're going to take away out of this is that we need to be ready to capture those people when they're ready to book. So how do we incorporate this data, and how do we make sure that obviously we are kind of overcoming the challenges that we all in different obviously scenarios, we are still obviously overcoming these challenges that in all cases could be common for many hotels. So as I said, I have the opportunity of speaking with hoteliers on a daily basis in different areas of our region, and I usually see like some common challenges. So that's why I wanted to summarize a few. So the first one, obviously, is the over-reliance and dependence on OTAs. Why is that challenge? Is that for two reasons mainly. First of all, they reduce profitability, and obviously they charge you a high percentage in commission. So it's really hard to kind of, give up onto all those bookings that we could have, gotten directly. But also they own the relationship with those customers that are booking with us, with our hotel, and we don't really have access to, the direct relationship with them, and we are not actually building any, seamless experience, unique experience, and we are not building loyalty. So that's why we want to make sure that we are driving those people direct. The second challenge would be that sometimes, marketing resources could be limited. And this is in terms of like, obviously staff, but it could be budgets, it could be any kind of, limited resources. We also know that hoteliers are going, through an understaffing challenge, generally speaking. So it is important to find a partner that can really support you and really provide you with the expertise that you need, and really be effective with all the resources, and just do all the heavy lifting. And also, like, yes, we might have those resources for marketing and it might not be a priority, but I still want to look into that. I just don't have the time, or I don't know how to do it. And I also, first, most important, I don't know if that will result in an actual return on investment. How do I make sure that everything I'm investing is actually resulting in in a profit and an investment, and a return on investment? So that's another challenge when it comes to resources that are a bit limited. And last but not least is also the importance of reaching these new customers, making sure that these people actually know about our brand, they know about our hotel, and we are capturing them, we are driving them to the website, we are there where they're dreaming about their next trip, and we want to be top of mind. And not only we want to own the relationship, but we also want to build a broader loyal customer audience, and really working on that loyalty piece as well. So how do we find the travelers? So especially Sojern, okay, we do have access to these travel intent signals, but how do I make sure that this is going to be relevant to my specific hotel? This is the greatest thing about Sojern, I think, because the Sojern travel marketing platform is really a unique ecosystem of data, because of course we do have access to these travel intent signals, and we know exactly who's looking where and at what time, and on what platform. But in order to really match and really find the new customers that will be most likely to book with you, we need to narrow it down to people that will be most likely to book with you, and they might be looking into something similar to what you offer, but simply never been exposed or introduced to your brand before. So that's why, in order to when we activate, let's say, our marketing campaigns and digital strategy, we also take in consideration the data from your website. So we analyze your organic traffic, meaning we want to understand who's already organically booking directly with you, in order for us to find similar travelers based on those real-time intent data. And based on that, we can really build the best travelers audiences for your specific hotels. And on top of that, you can always make sure that you are following in market what's happening in market, because obviously you can't really make assumptions on who's going to book and when they're going to book. Actually, you need to be proactive and reactive to what's happening in market. So really following, for example, seasonality or any other factor that might be affecting travel trends and make them shift or change at any point. So if we can move to the next slide. So this is also a very interesting piece of data that I wanted to share with you. Is this: how granular can we be when it comes to actually building the right audiences for your specific hotels? Because I might be speaking to a boutique hotel, a small hotel, or a large hotel, or a luxury hotel, and they're like, the concern might be, okay, but how do you make sure that you're going after the right audience for me? It's like, this is something that Sojern can do and is really an expert in doing, because we can really go after the desired and the most likely to book travel audience for your hotel. So this is just to give you an example of the kind of audiences that we can build and we can target for you. So it could be, for example, business travelers, or it could be couples, it could be families, it could be solos, it could be during the weekend, it could be mainly leisure, weekend leisure, and during the week business travelers. So we can really make sure that we are meeting every one of your objectives when it comes to digital marketing strategy, and really going after the desired audiences and targeting. Please, can you move to the next slide? So, okay, so all of this sounds amazing, and but we also know that, and I always think about myself, like when I'm trying to make a booking, I'm not actually following a straightforward process. We all know that a purchase path or the planning for a holiday can be very complex, and nowadays we have access to different platforms. We can compare prices, we can compare different hotels on different platforms. So we can't really make sure, like we can't really think that activating a campaign on one channel only, or for example, after a click or a view of one of our ads, someone is going to book directly, because it's simply not that easy. So the way you can actually engage with these travelers and really influence them to learn a little bit more about you, land on your website, and book directly with you, is by adopting both a prospecting and retargeting strategy. Prospecting, why? Prospecting is because obviously people that are still in that what we call discovery phase or dreaming phase, where they're still like considering different options, they might be considering different locations, different cities. They're not at that stage when they're ready to book, but they might be considering your hotel. Based on what we see, they might be a potential customer for you. So what you want to do, you just want to make sure that you are in front of those people when they are in this, let's say, stage of their purchase path, and then continuously like following them throughout their purchase path to simply influence them to visit your website and book directly with you. So we see that, for example, if the prospecting phase of reaching new audiences that never learn about you, never heard about you, actually visit your website, but then they leave without making their booking, because we see that 97% of the visitors won't convert on their first website visit. What you need to do, you need to make sure that you also have on top of that a retargeting strategy that basically simply means that you will be there with other ads that will expose them again throughout their purchase path. So when they are at the at the bottom of the funnel, as we like to say in the digital world, so or in their booking phase, so they're ready to book, you are actually converting those bookings. So as soon as they're ready to book, they'll see again your hotel, your direct link. They'll simply land on your website and book directly with you, without actually ending up on any other third-party platform where they could book your hotel, but not direct. So where do these travelers see your ads? Okay, I said it's really complex and they see different platforms. What platforms or channels am I talking about? So we at Sojern can really activate a very sophisticated campaign for your hotel where you're gonna cover the whole funnel. So you'll be there in front of those travelers at each time and everywhere they're surfing online. So the first, let's say, channel is our programmatic display. So this will be in an HTML5 banner ads, meaning that it's not a static image, but you can actually showcase all the main features of the hotel. So what actually makes your hotel unique? Why should they choose you? So you can showcase like 4 to 5 images of the hotel and really choose exactly the ad copy, the colors, the fonts. These are highly customizable. We have our in-house creative team creating them for you, but you obviously have the last say and you can tweak it as much as you want because it really needs to match the message that you want out there for your customers. Same will be for Facebook, so it will be still not a static image, but it will be in a carousel way. And again, this is a very, very important channel because, I mean, let's face it, majority of us are spending a lot of time on our preferred social media. So we would also showcase your hotel in front of those people at the right time while they're scrolling through their social media, both Facebook and Instagram. And the greatest thing is that Sojern is a certified marketing partner with Facebook, meaning that we really use these tools as prospecting and retargeting tools, and we won't really work on the contents to increase your following, like posts and stories, but really using it as an effective channel to kind of complement your overall digital strategy. And then obviously, last but not least, search engine marketing and meta search. So search engine marketing, you just want to make sure that you are top of mind of that traveler if they're looking for your destination, your location, or a hotel in your region, or specifically for your hotel. So you really want to make sure that you're protecting your brand and you are in the first spot of the search engine result page. And then meta search, really, really crucial because you just want to make sure that you are not missing out and people that are comparing different prices are actually finding your direct link because they made the decision that they want to book with you and you just want to be there. So we're talking about platforms like Google Hotel Ads, which is simply the right end section of the Google search, but also we will optimize it on the 7 main meta search platforms, meaning also TripAdvisor, Skyscanner, WeGo, Kayak, and Trivago. So basically you are all over, let's say, the meta search space. So you are really capturing those travelers when they're ready to book. And we usually see that meta search is actually not just us in the digital space. We see that meta search is actually driving the majority of bookings. It's actually up to 72% incremental. So this is really, really crucial to adopt when it comes to considering digital strategy. So this is just to give you more of a visual idea of how can you actually make sure that you are working on both a prospecting and retargeting strategy, but actually working on different channels. And it's really complicated. How do you make that? It's actually not that complicated. And also, it is important for you to adopt a multi-channel marketing strategy. Why is that? That is because obviously you're not only activating, prospecting, and retargeting, but for example, when it comes to prospecting new people, so reaching new audiences and working on that, brand engagement, brand awareness, and website traffic, let's say piece in the discovery phase, you know, touching these people for the first time. We see that, you know, channels like display, Facebook, and search engine marketing, video, these are really, really effective because people are still like searching. They don't really know what they want to do, but then you're still working on that, you know, upper funnel, up at the top of the funnel. You're touching those customers, and then what you want to do, you don't want to waste any of your effort, but you just want to make sure that everything that you've done at the top of the funnel, you're actually you know, driving that conversion when they're ready to book. So throughout their purchase path, when they're ready to book, channels like meta search engine marketing, where people are actually like, okay, I want to book into hotel XYZ, and they're searching specifically for your hotel. When they land on that page on the Google search, and they see your direct link there in the meta search, or your direct link on the top of the page, they can actually, you know, visit again the website, and you can drive that conversion. So adopting multi-channel will allow you not only to be present everywhere and at the right time where these travelers are planning to you know, book, but also make sure that you're not wasting any effort that you might be doing at upper funnel. Or maybe if you're just activating just a lower funnel channel, that could be meta search, you might be missing out on expanding your audiences and reaching new customers. So you really want to make sure that you're covering the whole funnel throughout every channel online. So how can you do that with Sojern? So Sojern not only is an expert in travel, hospitality, but also as we really understand that hotels might be not only facing different challenges, but they might have different strategies, different resources. They might be different, as I said. It could be a huge hotel with a large number of rooms, a lot of staff, or there might be small hotels, independent hotels, and they're all different, let's face it. So we came up with different solutions that really help hotels of all sizes and marketing budgets. So just in a nutshell, to give you an example of the ways and the solutions that we work with our hotel partners. The first one will be our pay on the stay, which is very, very appreciated by our hotel partners, because this is like an investment free, so there is no investment to implement and launch this campaign, but the hotels actually get access to a very sophisticated multi-channel always on solution, where hotels only pay on Sojern driven bookings, so through our ads, so bookings that happen after a click or review of one of our ads, but they actually resulted in checkouts and consumed stays. So the hotel doesn't risk any budget in terms of, like, you know, bookings that, yeah, they were made, but they never happened. So each hotel has actually the opportunity to reconcile all no shows and cancellations. So you're really just paying per performance, paying for what you get, basically. And this is really low risk, and it really allows you to not invest anything upfront, but at the same time taking the advantage of, you know, getting access to travel insights and an always on, very sophisticated multi-channel marketing campaign. So that's really, really great. I love it. And then, of course, if you were to say, okay, that's great, but I actually have a specific budget in mind, and I have a specific, you know, strategy, and I don't want to, you know, kind of have a commission-based model. I'd rather prefer to, you know, invest a specific budget. We can also do that. So we have our managed campaigns that allows you to activate a campaign for a specific period of time of your choice. Let's say if you wanted to promote a specific like offer, or if you have something going on that you want to promote for 3 to 6 months or 9 months, we can choose that together. So we just, you know, have a conversation, decide together what's the targeting, what's the goal, how long do you want to run it for. So that's a bit more like targeted, and you know, you choose exactly how you want to set it up. And then I'm really, really excited to introduce our new annual media plan. This is our newest solution, and it's for those hotels that are looking for of a longer term solution, let's say an annual strategy for your hotel that gives you access to, again, a multi-channel marketing campaign, including display, social media, search engine marketing, meta search, and video. And the greatest thing is that basically we work together. So there is a phase of like we consult with you. What are the goals? What are the KPIs? What are your inputs? What you're seeing today, and based on what you're seeing today, what you want to achieve out of this campaign. And the greatest thing is that it's cost effective. So there is not like a fixed budget every month, but we are really making sure that we are allocating your budget quite effectively throughout the year. So for example, you know, when it comes to seasonal pushes, like if you're fully booked, for example, in 1 month and you don't need that much budget, that will be saved for those months where you actually need an extra boost in terms of digital marketing. And that's a great solution. This is in our pilot mode, but I'm really excited to present it because all the hotels that are currently working with us are seeing great results. So if you want to hear more and have a little bit of a demo on that, always happy to you know, respond to any questions. But I'm really excited for this one. And if you want to have take part, that'd be great. So on this, very quickly, obviously I've been talking about data and, you know, information about these travelers and all of that. I just wanted to say that in all our campaigns, we do adopt a privacy forward approach, meaning that obviously as a global company, we do understand that privacy regulations could be very different from region to region, and we are always making sure that we are in line with all privacy regulations. And we really, as a marketing partner, we really want to make sure that your data are protected. So just wanted to say you're in good hands. And we also have some links with resources on our privacy regulations, and so you can have a look at that in case you want to hear and learn more about data and how we manage that. Thank you so much. So yeah, just to summarize, obviously, I know I've covered a lot of information, but just to summarize in the 3 takeaways that you can, you know, kind of consider after, you know, joining this session. The first one is that obviously travelers' behaviors can change quite frequently and can be influenced by different factors that we not always have control over. So instead of making assumptions on, you know, who's going to book, when they're going to book, where they're coming from, so or any kind of assumption, every marketer needs to, you know, make a little bit of a shift in their thinking, and they need to respond promptly and accordingly to what's happening in market. And the only way to do that is by following what the data are telling you today. And then second point is that direct bookings have never been more important for hoteliers. This is for obviously profitability, profitability standpoint, because it's simply like better to get direct bookings. But apart from that, we know in our world that nowadays travelers are looking for unique experiences, very like personalized experiences, and the only way to do that is to really have a direct contact with your customers. So you really want to make sure that you are capturing that direct, and you can build that relationship direct, so you can obviously offer a seamless and better experience for your travelers. And third of all is like in such a complicated and complex digital world, adopting a multi-channel marketing strategy will make sure that you are maximizing your direct booking opportunity, but also making sure that you are in front of your desired customers at each time, at the right time, in the right place, and really not making sure that you're not wasting any of your marketing resources. Thank you so much. I think we are at the end of the session. So first of all, thank you so much for your time. If you're still on, if you're not, we will send you a recording of this. And also, as Ashley said, now we have a little bit of a a Q&A session. But any other question that doesn't get answered to because of time, I will personally get back to you. And so feel free to shoot them in the question box and we will get back to you. Ashley, did we get any questions?
Yeah, thanks for that, Laura. That was a really great presentation. Good to see some really heartening travel trends for 2022 for this holiday season. Yeah, so we did get a couple questions. You presented the slide early on about the travel audiences and how we build different audiences. But this question is, how do you make sure you're targeting the relevant travelers for my specific property?
That's a really good question, and that's something that I actually, thanks for that. That's something that I actually asked myself when I joined Sojern, because I was like, okay, so if you're getting a travel intent into London, for example, how do you make sure that you are targeting the right customer for me and not for another hotel? So that's the great expertise that Sojern has. Obviously, we start with the travel intent data to understand who's looking, but obviously, not everyone that is looking into London might be looking into a 5-star or 4-star or 3-star. So depending on that, that's why we also leverage, data that we can, kind of analyze from the website of the hotel. So what we do is like familiarize with your existing loyal customers. So whoever is organically visiting your website, booking directly with you, we familiarize with that kind of audience. And then on top of that, we utilize our own Sojern database, because obviously after 15 years on the market, we've gathered more than 350 million travelers profiles, which really help us narrow it down to the kind of people that are looking for similar properties to yours. And then, of course, by adding our travel insights and our Sojern database, and then understanding who's booking directly with you, we're gonna obviously build a travel audience that is specifically interested in booking with you.
Great, thanks, Laura. Another question, how do I know Sojern has driven whatever bookings that they receive?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. This is more on the technical side of things, but absolutely. It's actually quite easy to see what's the Sojern contribution to the overall, let's say, direct booking share, because the way we work is that every ad that we activate will have a pixel, which is basically, I know pixel is very technical, but it's literally just a line of code that will track the interaction that that particular user, clicking from London at 2:37 had with the ad. So the same pixel that tracks the time and the date will be implemented onto the website and onto the booking engine, meaning that if the same person is clicking on the ad and then landing on your website and then booking on your website through your booking engine, that will be obviously not only tracked through the pixel, but will also show on your Sojern online account. Because one thing that I actually missed out, this is quite interesting, is that we also give you access to your own portal where you see exactly what's the campaign performance. So you get metrics on how many clicks, how many views, how many direct bookings. So you see everything reflected there, and you also get a comparison between Sojern driven bookings and organic bookings. So everything is in there, so you have clear visibility on the campaign performance.
Thanks, Laura. One final question. I think we've got room for one more. So this one is talking about activating campaigns with Sojern. And I think, as you talked about at the top of your presentation, we're really facing sort of a global staff shortage right now. It's really hard to find talent. And I think hoteliers more than ever are feeling themselves really wearing lots of hats and responsible for a lot of different departments. So for those who don't have like a dedicated in-house marketing function, how complicated is it to work with Sojern?
Thank you for that. It's actually another very good question. Thank you for this question, whoever asked it. So it's actually super easy, because we do understand that there are some hotels that have marketing team on site and they are happy to, kind of run it themselves and all of that. But actually, we take care of all the heavy lifting. It's super, super easy to work with us because we have team of experts from, let's say, onboarding that will follow the, the whole pixel implementation, the ad creation. They will be there with you, and they will take care of everything. So they get in contact directly with your webmaster and booking engine provider. So literally the only thing that you need to do is just provide them with the contact details, and they'll do everything for you. And once the campaign is launched, you also get a dedicated customer success team that will be obviously monitoring the performance of your campaign. If you have any questions at any point, you can always reach out to them. So you have a physical person dedicated to your campaign, so you can always reach out to us. So that's what we want to do for hotels. We're just here to support you. And this is from, obviously, we want to be a consultant for you, like give you a little bit of an idea of how to, be in this digital difficult space, but we also want to take care of all the technical stuff that we understand not every hotelier might have the tools to, look after. So we're here to support you, and we have physical people working together with you. So it's really, really easy. But if you have any other questions about, the technical bits and how does it work, feel free to, always reach out to me or Ashley or anyone in the team. Always happy to help.
Yeah, and on that note, you can see it on Laura's slide here, but Sojern is going to be at World Travel Market this year. We've got our own stand. We'll be in the travel tech area at stand 640. So if you'd like to reach out, set up a meeting, or just drop by, Laura will be there, I'll be there. We look forward to seeing you all. So I think that's all the time we've got for today. As always, we love feedback, and so we'd love to hear how we're doing. If there's any topics you'd like to hear about in future webinars, get in touch with us either directly or through our social channels. We'll be happy to hear that feedback. On behalf of Laura, thank you so much for attending. On behalf of myself, we really appreciated you taking time out of your day to speak with us. So thanks to everyone. We'll be sending the recording out to everyone if they want to rewatch. And that's all for now. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, everyone. Bye.